This video is a full video on how to cut and sew a female pant without wrinkles around the crotch area. The ultimate measurement you'll be needing is the crotch length, which I'm taking now. She hold the tape for me while I drag the tape roll to her back. I'm doing this on a stretchy crepe. As a beginner, you may want to avoid a stretchy material, but I'm doing this because if you can avoid it on a stretchy material, then you are good to go on any fabric. The stretchy side will be the horizontal side of the trouser, while the side that is not stretchy will be the vertical, will be the length of the trouser. So I'm going to fold the fabric into two and refold again. So in total I'm folding into four because I want to cut the front side of the pant and the back side all together. So folding again, after you have already folded in two, you now make it to be folded into four. After folding, you want to confirm if the fabric you folded will be enough for the trouser. So to do that, we use the hip measurement because the hip is the widest part of the trouser. The hip is wider than the waist and is wider than the lap and the ankle, so we use that to confirm. Fold and divide your hip measurement by 4, then add every necessary allowance or your seam allowance to it before you confirm that the fabric you folded will be enough. So now going to the waist, we use the hip measurement as the waist. So instead of taking the waist measurement on the waist, I'm going to just use the hip measurement, divide the hip measurement by 4, then whatever the result is, I'm going to minus 1 inch from it. So I'm going to mark that. After we mark that, I'm going to take the crotch length. So the crotch length, I already taken that. I asked her to hold the tape, then I drag the tape to her back. So I got 25 inches as the crotch length, which is for both the back and the front. So on my fabric here, I'm going to mark 10 inches. After marking the 10 inches, you confirm the hip measurement. Remember, your hip line is always the same thing as the crotch line. So that 10 inches I mark is where the hip line is. So I have confirmed the hip measurement. Now I'm just making the crotch curve there. So I'm just using a little curve because the main curve will be from the back fabric. So after doing this, I want to cut the curve I just marked, but I'm only cutting for the front, not for the back. You can see I'm just cutting only for the front. So cut for the front, cut out the curve just like this and remove that. You can see that is only the front that we have cut out. Remember, the crotch measurement was 25 inches from the front to the back, but on my fabric I marked 10 inches. 10 plus 10 will be 20 because 10 for the front and 10 for the back will be 20. Then we have 5 inches left to make our waistband. So my waistband will be 2.5 inches. That is 2.5 at the front and 2.5 at the back. Then we have it completed to be 25 inches of crotch length. The next thing I want to do is to take the length of the trouser. So whatever the length is, mark it. For me, the length is 41 inches. So I'm just going to mark on exact 41 inches without adding any allowance for hemming. The reason for that is that I am taking the measurement without the waistband. So the waistband will be 2.5 inches, and once I add 2.5 inches, I'm going to have the length of the trouser to be 2.5 inches longer. So with that, I can hem the trouser. After marking the length, the next thing I want to do is to take the ankle measurement. Decide how wide you want the ankle the hem to be. So for me, I just want it to be as wide as 15 inches. So mark that, then add your seam allowance. Mark whatever or however you want the ankle to be as wide as, then you add your seam allowance to it. So this is me cutting it out. Then after I cut, then I will connect from the ankle to the crotch length. As I connect from the ankle to the crotch area, let me tell you about the ultimate application for every fashion designer. This application is called style bit. With StyleBit, you can save your customer's measurement on your device. By doing this, you never lose your customer's measurement at all. You can also send invoice to your customers to remind them about any pending payments you are yet to receive from them. You can save orders on this application to keep track of how well your business is doing. You get notified before any order overdue so that you won't disappoint your customers. Plus, you get access to a free fashion designer community where you can ask questions if you need any help. I'll leave a link in the comment section and also in the description box to download StyleBit. Go to the comment section, click on it, and you get the application. So this may cutting from the crotch length to the ankle, but notice something: I only cut for the front. I only cut two of the four folded fabric, so only two out of it is what I cut. Now I want to mark for the back side, and to mark that, I place a curve ruler on it. Take more allowance of 3 inches from the crotch area of the front. Then I now mark to have another or a new crotch area. With that, I can now cut for the back, because of the bottom, the crotch area or the curve of that of the back and the front shouldn't be the same thing, because at the front is flat while at the back it's not. So that is why I have two curve for the back and for the front. I hope you are able to see through from the camera. If you're following this video so well, you notice that the crotch curve of that of the back and the front is different, which is something you should pay attention to. So try to implement this in your next trouser you'll be making, and you're going to see the difference. Let's move on. After taking all of this, I want to go back to the front and to the waist. Remember, the waist is just as the hip. I use the same measurement as the hip for the waist, but now I want to take the waist measurement. So divide the waist measurement by 4, mark it. Remember to leave your seam allowance, then take out whatever is left around the this side. So connect slantly from the waist to the hip line just to bring out the hip curve. So the reason we are doing this is to bring out the hip curve, because this trouser is not fully fitted, but despite that, we still want to give it a little shape or a little fit from the waist to the hip before it become free from the hip downward. So now we are done cutting. Let me open and you see what we've got so far. So this is it. So this midpoint where we have a V cut shape is the hip area, and you can see the crotch of the back. The shape is different from that of the front. So let's move to sew. The first thing I want to sew is to sew the hip area, which is that V curve we give it to form to get a hip curve. So because I'm sewing a stretchy material and I'm not using a stretchy material needle, so I have to add a gum stay or a paper gum to it so that my needle can sew on this material. So if you are dealing with the same type of material, then you can try this method. After sewing, then you take out the gum stay or paper gum. Once I'm done with that, then I'm bringing the ankle, take out the seam allowance I gave it, then I'm going to sew from the ankle to the crotch area. So I'm using 1 inch seam allowance for the ankle, but as I sew, as I approach the crotch area, I'm going to reduce the seam allowance from 1 inch to half an inch, which is 0.5 inch. So this means sewing in 1 inch seam allowance, but as soon as I approach the crotch area, I'm going to reduce the seam allowance from being 1 inch to half an inch. If you have the needle for stretchy materials, then you don't have to add gum stay or paper gum to it while you sew. But for me, because I'm not using the needle, so I'm going to be adding a gum steel or paper gum to every area where I sew in order for my needle to be able to sew through. And after sewing, I'm going to remove the gum steel or the paper gum immediately. I don't want it to um accumulate. I don't want to remove it after, so I'm going to be removing as I sew. After sewing this, I'm going to turn it out. You will see how the back crotch came to the front to overlap, and by that assisting and the trouser to avoid wrinkles around the crotch area. Let me make it more visible. You can see the crotch of the crotch area, how the back came to overlap on that of the front, and you can see the hip curve we got from cutting out that V shape, and now we have the hip curve and the crotch area well done. So now you're going to do the same thing for the other leg of the trouser. So this means starting the same process for the other leg of the trouser, but I'm going to skip this process. Please permit me to skip this process, but all I'm going to do here is what I did on the other leg, which we've seen earlier. Now it's time to join the both legs together. So to join it means we are going to join the crotch area together to have just one trouser. So allow the crotch area to align with each other, then you can start sewing. So at this point, if you want to use zip, then take the zip measurement. Remember, what we cut earlier is just for zip. This trouser cannot work for elastic because we've already make the waist fitted, we've already take out the hip curve, and for that this trouser can only work with a zipper, so you cannot convert it to elastic at this point. So if you want to do elastic or zip, then decide before even start cutting. At this point, we're almost done. After joining the crotch, what is left for us to do is to add the waistband. Then we move to add the invisible zipper. I already have a video on how to fix an invisible zipper. I'll leave the link to that video in the description box if you want to see how to fix an invisible zipper well covered and neat. After sewing the crotch area, this is what we're going to have. So you're going to have the crotch from the back overlapping, coming to the front like this. So depends on how the thigh, the lap measurement and the hip measurement of your customers, that will determine how much the overlapping from back will be. So for some ladies, for some customers, the overlapping will be more than this, so take note of that. After that, now we want to add the waistband. So for beginners, I will advise if you add the waistband for both legs separately, so then you can join that of the back from behind, and also for the front, because for me, I'm going to be adding the zip to be at the front. So let me know in the comment section if you think the zip is better at the back and the reason why you think the zip is better at the back, and if you also feel like the zip is better at the front, just as I want to do, because I don't have any reason for doing mine. So let me know if the zip is better at the front or at the back. So this is me joining the waistband for one side of the trouser. So now I'm going to join the waistband at the back and also at the front, because I'm going to be putting my the invisible zipper at the front. So this is me using the invisible zipper foot to fix the zip. So I have a video on that, and I will leave a link to that video in the description box if you want to see that video. Thank you so much for watching this video to this point. Don't forget to like, comment, share this video and subscribe to this page See you soon in my next video. I hope you've learned something today.